Here on Sunrise, I'm Alicia Lewis. Jason has the morning off, so let's get right to meteorologist John Ziegler on this total solar eclipse day. I feel bad for so many folks who are going. They made plans, and then it's going to be cloudy.
That's tough, right? Weather always has different plans. You just got to move. I think you got to be willing to move. And even here, if you want to see the 75% partial eclipse, you just have to drive south to Iowa. I think Iowa, especially eastern Iowa, this could be sunny. Great conditions there. So we're going to be dealing with rain. It got rain this morning. A pretty warm start, especially south of St. Cloud. You got some 30s up here in Brainerd. Most of this is just going to be plain old shower activity. So there's your low. You can see it's swirling right here. One last band coming through the metro. It's been pretty wet in the backyard here. See, to the north, we got a little snow trying to get in here. But right now, raining for maybe the next hour. And then will clear off or move to the north. Trying to move in some of those what I call mixed showers. It's not going to matter or cause any problems, but Brainerd, don't be surprised up there if you see that. This is going to be a very wet morning, especially Mora area over towards Mille Lacs. We'll track this entire thing out. Of course, your solar forecast coming up in a bit.
All right, John, thanks. I just got a report from MnDOT that there was a crash 35W southbound in the Lino Lakes area. I'm just popping around on a few different cameras, seeing if I can see it on any of them. It looks like maybe something blocking the right shoulder there on 35W southbound. So just a heads up for that. That's the only issue I'm tracking metro-wide. Well, in less than 7 hours, make sure to get outside, maybe drive south, as you heard from John, and bring your eclipse glasses with you. That's when the total solar eclipse will start making its way across the Minnesota sky. Now, we're not in the path of totality, meaning that we're not going to see the entire eclipse, but take a moment, take a look at this map. The people who live in that swath from Texas all the way through Ohio and New York should get a spectacular view this afternoon if, of course, the weather is cooperating. Michelle Beck is live with what we're going to see in the Twin Cities and what we need to know before looking up at the sky. Good morning, Michelle.
Yeah, good morning, Alicia. Hope you have your glasses ready. I have mine right here from Hy-Vee. Here in St. Paul, we're supposed to have a 79% coverage. Take a look at your video. Skies will fade to complete darkness for a few minutes today as the moon completely blocks the face of the sun. And yeah, this is a big deal. Experts at the Bell Museum say we won't have another partial eclipse visible in Minnesota for 20 years. So set your alarms for the peak around 2 p.m. our time, though some folks are worried cloud cover will get in our way.
The clouds don't completely cover the sun, so you can still see some of the partial eclipse through your eclipse glasses if there's not really thick cloud cover. So it's still worth trying to see it even if those clouds are in the sky, but only with those eclipse glasses.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about those eclipse glasses coming up in the next 30 minutes, what protections they offer, and what risks there are if you don't put these on. Alicia.
All great reminders. All right, Michelle, thank you. And hey, if you're not sure where to go today, the Bell Museum is a great spot, and they're welcoming guests. They have telescopes set up outside and the planetarium. They also have shows about the sun and experts to talk to. They'll have a live stream of the eclipse, too, so everyone can see what totality looks like. You can get special coverage of the eclipse right here on KARE 11. NBC News will have a special report from the ground and the sky. And KARE 11 Plus will have coverage from our sister stations along the path of totality. That's available on our website, your phone, and on your smart TV app. In other news headlines we're following this morning, a standoff in St. Paul involving the SWAT team came to a peaceful end about 8 hours ago. South St. Paul police say they were called to an apartment building at around 3:30 yesterday. They say a man was threatening someone with a gun. When they got there, they saw him in the hallway with a rifle before he went into an apartment. The nearby apartments were evacuated. At around 10, they sent in a chemical irritant into the apartment. He finally came out and was taken into custody. This morning, 2 businesses are closed and a family's out of their home in western Wisconsin. That's after a truck crashed into a building and caught fire. It happened in St. Croix Falls less than 24 hours ago. The fire department says no one was hurt. However, there was significant damage throughout the building. In just a few hours, week 2 of the Apple River stabbing trial gets underway. 54-year-old Nikolai Mew is charged with killing a Stillwater teen and hurting 4 others 2 years ago. The prosecution intends to wrap up early this week. Then the defense will call on witnesses. Week 1, we got our first look at cell phone and body camera video. There's also emotional testimony from those stabbed that day and bystanders stepping in to give CPR. 17-year-old Isaac Schumann's mom also testified about getting to the scene that day and seeing her son's body on the beach. The defense team claims Mew was acting in self-defense. In about 4 hours, we're expecting to learn more about a bill aiming to combat copper wire thefts in St. Paul. Public Works says there were 2,000 of those thefts last year, with thieves hitting streetlights in particular and then selling copper wire for up to $4 a pound. The city has spent more than $1 million fixing those lights and tried implementing solutions like silent alarms, but nothing has been widely successful. Now there's a new bill that, if passed, would require every copper wire dealer to create a permanent record of every sale and make every seller get a license that they renew each year.
I've seen all kinds of things, but none of them are practical. And I think this potential legislation might be the practical thing.
Yeah, Mayor Melvin Carter and other lawmakers are hopeful this bill will finally do the trick. As we said, they're expected to release more information today. Then a few hours later, the bill will go through a couple of Commerce Committee hearings. Today, President Biden will make a stop in Madison, Wisconsin. During his visit, he's expected to announce a new plan for federal student loan relief. This plan is set to help new categories of borrowers. He's not expected, however, to outline who would qualify to get their debt reduced or eliminated. This morning, the Robbinsdale School District's search for a new superintendent is starting again from scratch. In a news release, the school board says it went through first-round interviews with 6 different candidates, but the board could not agree on any candidates to move forward with. They will discuss next steps during their work session in 1 week. 1 week and counting. You have just 7 days left to file your 2023 taxes. The IRS says if you don't owe taxes and don't file by April 15th, they will tack on a 5% penalty for each month that you're late. You can file an extension that pushes the date back until October 15th.